All right, let's start this hour with developing news out of London, where earlier today, British police entered the Ecuadorian embassy and arrested WikiLeaks founder and journalist Julian Assange. We have since learned that the arrest came at the request of U.S. prosecutors, who are charging Assange with conspiring with whistleblower Chelsea Manning to commit intrusion into U.S. government computers. Ecuador earlier revoked Assange's citizenship and asylum status, allowing British police to remove the journalist and transport him to court. His extradition hearing has now been set for May 2nd, when his lawyers are expected to argue against sending Assange to the U.S. For his part, President Trump just said this moments ago, tweeting, of course. He says he knows nothing about WikiLeaks, and it's not his thing. Now, during the 2016 election, Trump praised the organization after it published leaked emails from the Hillary Clinton campaign. So joining us now live from the newsroom with more to this story, RT correspondent Dan Cohen, who's been following this story closely. Dan, walk us through the history of what brought WikiLeaks and Julian Assange to where we're at today.
Manila, Julian Assange vaulted onto the international spotlight in 2010 when WikiLeaks published a trove of documents exposing U.S. war crimes in Iraq and Afghanistan. The video Collateral Murder showed U.S. forces in a helicopter killing 18 civilians, including 2 Reuters journalists and their rescuers. Later that year, WikiLeaks published the Afghan war logs, consisting of more than 75,000 documents revealing coalition forces killing civilians. Then WikiLeaks published the Iraq war logs, which showed the true number of civilian deaths, 15,000 more than were previously thought. The documents showed widespread torture and abuse of prisoners, and one cable revealed U.S. soldiers executed 10 Iraqi civilians, including a woman in her 70s and a 5-month-old infant, and a subsequent airstrike to cover up the evidence. WikiLeaks then publishes what is called Plus D, the public library of U.S. diplomacy, a collection of 2 million documents, including Cablegate. That release played a major factor in the Arab Spring protests. Then Vice President Joe Biden deemed Assange a high-tech terrorist, while former Republican vice presidential candidate Sarah Palin branded him an anti-American operative with blood on his hands and called for his capture. In April 2011, WikiLeaks published the Gitmo files revealing deaths and torture of detainees inside Guantanamo Bay prison in Cuba. Fast forward to February 2016, WikiLeaks reveals Operation Sophia, the European Union's plan to deal with refugee boats from Libya with military force. Later that month, we learn that the National Security Agency spies on world leaders and the United Nations Secretary General. In 2016, WikiLeaks published emails showing Hillary Clinton's paid speeches to Wall Street executives, and then just a few days later released emails from Clinton campaign manager John Podesta. This revealed the Democratic National Committee broke its own rules favoring Hillary Clinton over Bernie Sanders. In 2017, WikiLeaks releases Vault 7, which exposed the CIA's electronic surveillance and spyware program that allowed smartphones and even televisions to be used as covert microphones. Well, the Obama administration's Justice Department decided against charging Assange because it would then have to charge outlets that also publish classified material, like the New York Times. The Trump administration has declared war on Assange and WikiLeaks. Mike Pompeo, now Secretary of State and then Director of the CIA, made a landmark speech at a Washington think tank declaring WikiLeaks an enemy of the state.
We have to recognize that we can no longer allow Assange and his colleagues the latitude to use free speech values against us. It's time to call out WikiLeaks for what it really is: a non-state hostile intelligence service, often abetted by state actors like Russia.
Reporting live from the newsroom, Dan Cohen, RT.
Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out our channel. We hope you enjoyed the video. We have tons of content for you just like this. For more of RT America's one-of-a-kind news and analysis, be sure to subscribe and never stop questioning more.